We are live.
We are.
Good evening, everybody. Bear with me. This is the first time actually officially going live, so forgive the mistakes. I'm here with my daughter.
Hi.
We are excited to talk about the most recent episode of Severance,
Yes.
and I feel like maybe we play around and try something different and do live. So the season 2, episode 7 of Severance. I might pronounce this wrong. Chicago Bardo, maybe.
I know that's the name of the card.
Yeah, that. So that's the name of the episode. We're gonna get right into it.
Awesome.
So the first thing I'll say is that I really do appreciate the fact that Severance always gives you a recap that is important to what they're about to show you.
Yes, I always appreciate that. It's a really nice detail.
It helps refresh. It helped. Not that I need my memory refreshed because I watched every episode of Severance
Like 5 times.
oh, season 2 5 times, season 1 maybe 100. It's been 3 years.
You lived, breathed Severance.
Always. Alright, so getting started with the first scene, we get to see Gemma. Did you think that was Gemma when they showed her from the back?
No, I was like, I actually thought it might be Helly, just because I saw the ear and it kind of looked red in the light. I was not expecting Gemma at all. Oh, we have a hello.
Oh, who said hello? Oh, that's Bigger for Entertainment. Hi, that's
Hello.
Anzo. Thanks for stopping by. We're nervous, but we don't act like we aren't.
Yes.
All right, so what's our first scene?
We appreciate
Well, the overhead shot of Gemma, and then we
Yes.
realize it's Gemma. The first thing I noticed was how many people was in that shot.
So many people.
I feel like that's more people. The number of people we saw in that one frame were more people than everyone else we've seen in Cure, like, added up.
Yes.
So I wonder what happened. Like, why? And that's the university. We're assuming that's the university that Mark worked at.
Because him and Gemma are there. That is the university he worked at. Or at least that's what it seems like.
So I wonder what happened from then to now to make it, like, abandoned and deserted.
Because remember when Ragabi smacked that man upside his head with a bat? I mean, remember the surroundings?
Yeah,
Like, it
yeah.
was deserted, abandoned, dark, like, not lively at all.
So it also makes me wonder how much time has passed from that moment to where we are.
Yeah.
And I think we'll talk more about that later on. Let's see. I wrote, Mark looks full of life. We've never seen him look so alive. So
I remember when I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh, he looks like Adam Scott here. Like,
Right.
he actually looks like himself.
Hey, Kyrese. Good to see you. Thank you for popping in.
Nikisha. Okay.
That's because Kyrese is always so nice and respectful.
Does this make me a princess?
Are you a princess? You can be a princess. Princess Savannah. That has a nice ring to it. All right, let's see where we're at. The instant chemistry.
Yes.
Yeah. It was nice to see how they kind of clicked right away. And then, what was the question? They exchanged a little bit of conversation about the book, but then he asked,
I'm sorry, who are you?
"Who are you?" How many times have we heard that question?
Who are you and where did you go? Or like the number one Severance questions.
They always come back around.
Yes.
I said Gemma looks more alive than Miss Casey ever did. In those scenes, she just looks so happy and, like, fully alive, which Miss Casey kind of always looks kind of like dead behind
inside.
there. Yeah, it's sad. Thank you for sharing, Anzo. Appreciate it. I keep umming. Going back to read it. Sorry. Let's see.
Mark has.
Yeah, we get our head over ourselves just talking.
Yes. Oh, Nurse Nancy. We have to wait a little further.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about the one theory that we saw. This is not ours, but we did watch a video and we saw that the lumen symbol is not water. The drop is not water, but actually blood. And blood is shown a lot throughout this entire series. So that's super interesting to me.
Yeah. Every time I've seen it, I assumed it was a drop of water, but blood does make sense considering how this episode starts off, and then all the other times blood kind of comes into play. Kyrese, I saw your comment. We're talking about Severance. We're on season 2, episode Severance. Episode Severance.
Episode 7.
Episode 7. If you don't watch it, you should watch it. It's so good. It's on Apple TV. Best show on television. I've watched in like the past decade, probably longer.
It's amazing. There's no show out there like Severance.
I get my 17-year-old daughter to watch with me, so it must be cool. Oh, I keep stopping this. I should let that play. I don't know why I wrote that when Mark asked her, "Who are you?" It reminded me of the any orientation question, of course, when the show started and Helly woke up on the table, but we kind of know that. Oh, I know what it is. And then the tone of it somehow reminded me of Rickon. Rickon reminded me of. Okay, let me get myself together. When I thought about that opening scene of the first show, it reminded me of the joke that Mark made. Was like, "You're working up on a table. I know this is disorienting. Good thing you're at a orientation." And that made me think of Rickon. And then I just kind of put a pin in it because I'm not so sure that we're seeing the show linearly anymore. I don't know that we're seeing everything in the order that it happened or like sequentially. I don't know. So because we know that later on Rickon is rewriting some of the stuff for Lumen, for all we know, Rickon could have written the orientation manual. And we just not know it because we haven't seen it play out that way. But I might be reaching, it might be too far. I don't know. Then we see, now we're at the part where we see
Gross blood.
the gross blood of Gemma donating. And she's with the nurse. Did you guys recognize the nurse from anything? I know she's probably been on a lot of stuff, but if you, I'm 42. I grew up watching a show called Roseanne. If you ever watched it back in the day, she was Nancy on Roseanne, and so that's the first thing I thought of when I saw her. I was like, "Oh, Nancy," and then I was like, "Oh, Nurse Nancy." And I may be reaching, but I also don't think the show does coincidences, so I don't know. And then we see her, the nurse asking Gemma, "Where did you go?"
Yes, and where did you go? I recognize that because it's asked in almost like every episode. And later in the episode, when Mark does wake up, the first thing Devin asks is, "Where did you go?" Mm-hmm. So that question is featured a lot in the show.
Now that you said that, I want to go back and rewatch and see the other times that it came up.
Yes, I know it's been countless times. That's why it struck a chord with me, but I can't really remember which specific time, other than in this episode.
Right. I swear I timed this so much better last time. And now we're actually seeing a flashback of Gemma and Mark together, an intimate scene. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Now we're back with Ragabi and Devin freaking out.
Which is like valid. If I went to go see my brother and he passed out in front of me after all the Severance stuff and some woman came from the basement saying, "No, we're not going to take him to the ambulance," and had the same demeanor Ragabi just generally has, I'd be, I think, lightly concerned. Mm-hmm.
I do wish that Devin would have remembered what Mark just told her. He told her he was working on something else.
She's like stunned at the moment, though. The whole, let me call Miss Cobell thing, though, weird.
Yeah, weird. I don't know that was the best idea she's ever had, but I think she's just like desperate. She just doesn't know what to do, and she probably feels like powerless, and she just wants to like try to do something.
Yeah, I think Ragabi kind of has a way of talking like the Lumen people do, in the way that she's not very clear and she's super vague with what she's saying. So.
She worked there.
Yeah, so like that, it just makes sense that Devin is super confused because she's not really giving her. See, right here, she's saying, "Can you answer at least one of my questions, please?" So.
That's like later when Gemma says, "Can you talk like a normal person?"
Like a normal person?
I'm hearing this in my ear. I was like, "Oh, that's a little disorienting for me."
Good thing it's an orientation.
Thank you. Very good. Devin's a good sister. She's worried. So I've been thinking for a while, and I've said this before in other videos, so forgive me, that there is maybe something more to Gemma being alive than just her being alive. Maybe she was brain dead, who knows? But it was something about the first time Ragabi told Mark, who was Mike, that she was alive. She said she's alive at Lumen. And that made me think that like she's only alive in Lumen and she can't exist outside of Lumen, which may still be the case, but she hasn't phrased it like that anymore. She's just saying she's alive, she's alive, she's
Maybe because
alive.
she realized she slipped up by saying she's alive at Lumen.
Could be. Where we at? I swear I thought I wrote these in order, but it's not feeling too much in order. I guess the next scene after this should be to be back to the nurse. Oh, then we get the opening credits. This is like the only time I skip the opening credits is when I'm doing this.
Right?
Sometimes I just watch the opening credits. Do you guys ever listen to the soundtrack of Severance? I do probably like once a day. It's so good.
Gosh,
yeah. I don't have to go back to it. We saw it. So the next thing we have Nurse Nancy with Gemma, and she's doing like checking her vitals in a weird futuristic Lumini kind of way. With every piece of medical equipment has the Lumen symbol on it. But then that's what she asked her, where'd you go? Because she kind of zones off into space.
And the whole question about if you were in a mudslide, would you be more scared of suffocating or drowning? And she says drowning. That is a really weird question.
What about you? Would you rather?
Would I rather, or which
Not
one
would you rather? What would you be scared of? Touche. I apologize. You don't know? Oh, I don't know either. I'm asking you.
I think I'd be more scared of drowning, because I think drowning is a form of suffocation.
Yeah, I think they're very similar. Take this earbud out. Very similar, not that different. I think it's really just semantics, but I'm sure they phrased it like that and asked her for a reason. So I'm still, it goes back to that car accident. If it was a car accident, like, did she end up in water? Did she drown? Did she end up hitting like a wall of dirt, and was there a mudslide? I don't know why it's doing that. But I definitely think it means something. Or it may just have been to see if they could get a flash of recognition from her for one or the other, to see if she responded to mudslide or suffocation or drowning. Right. How many rooms today? I capitalized that today. How many rooms today? I wonder if that changes. It must change, or else she wouldn't ask the question.
And there are many rooms that we saw, and the scariest one is the Loveland room. That is scary.
Just seeing that title kind of makes me uncomfortable, but I'll get into that later. I want to skip all around all over the place. I just don't know if, did she consent to this?
Good question.
But we'll get there.
And even if she did like say like, oh yeah, I'm okay with this, there's no way they revealed exactly what this is. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any way that she would have ever consented to this.
She didn't read the terms and conditions. Right. We never do.
Right. Even me, and I'm in cybersecurity.
So then we see her and Gemma going into the little closet and getting the outfit. That was so eerie to me to see how everything was laid out. It reminded me of Helly when she was talking to Mark about how Helena made her feel. She's like, she picks out my clothes like a baby. And seeing that kind of made me think of it. I wonder why the wig, but I think later on I kind of put the pieces together that it's another way to separate her from Gemma. To have like, so she can't like recognize herself in the mirror, maybe reaching. Where are we at? Oh, the outfit. Oh, and when she opened the door and saw the outfit, she said, oh shit. And at first I just thought maybe she didn't like that outfit, but then I think it's because she knows that outfit means
her mouth is gonna hurt.
Her mouth is gonna hurt after. Yeah. And that's good that you said that, because I was thinking she knows that means the dentist, but she doesn't know it means the dentist because she doesn't have that consciousness. That was good. This story is so crazy. The dentist is creepy. With her mouth hurting afterward, like I know they need her to be in pain to kind of know what her awareness is like. But why not numb it during the process? Give her some Tylenol or something. I feel like
these people are sadistic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they care.
That's a good short answer. Makes sense. Well, no, I won't say it makes sense, but That is what they're showing us.
And they're playing another thing I noticed. Every time Gemma goes into a room, Nurse Nancy has to put her hand in a little slot, and they take some of her blood too, which is quite curious.
I think it's just, to verify her identity. But I wonder if that's going to come into play later, if there's like a great escape plan and they're trying to open a door or something, they can't get in because they don't have her blood. Maybe that's when the hatches will come up. Maybe the hatches will come up and they'll cut her hand off to get her blood.
I mean, there's been a lot of cutting of hands in Severance.
Really?
Helly cutting off, she tried to cut off her own fingers. Gemma bit off a dude's finger. There's a lot of hand violence.
It makes me you won't know about this, but there's an old movie called Idle Hands where Jamie Kennedy is in it. I think like his hands get possessed. Hey Dolly, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. We're talking about Severance on Apple TV. I don't know if you watch that show. Dolly I know from Albert's chat, and he's a General Hospital fan. We have a lot of similar opinions about Carly, and so much respected.
We love Carly.
I love Carly. I just want better for Carly. Okay, let me stop because then I'll be talking about Brennan. Right?
You right.
Bring him back. 2 hours. 2 hours at the dentist. Thank you. We appreciate it. But if you've been to the dentist, I'm not saying 2 hours is too long to be there, but just playing around in your mouth, this is uncomfortable. But like, it makes. What else was he doing for that 2 hours? For her not to have, and she doesn't have any memory of it, so it's really gross and creepy, and it just gets creepier. Then we go. I keep pressing pause, and then I have to skip. I have Apple TV playing down here below, so we can try to keep track of where we're at. It makes it a little easier to talk about it, but then I keep losing it. Yeah, I didn't even have this part in my notes.
Well, that's a good point. I think there's been a lot of speculation, I think, about whether or not there are multiple innies of Gemma, and I think that's pretty much definitely confirmed, especially when she goes to the dentist, and the first thing she says to him when she goes there is, "Can I get a quick break, just for a little while?" And he says, "You've been here for it's been 6 weeks." And she says, "I was just here." That pretty much confirms airplane Gemma is all she knows is the airplane crash. Dentist Gemma, all she knows is going to the dentist. It's clear that
it's always Christmas.
Yes,
in the Christmas room.
Exactly. And I think that all ties back to the Cold Harbor thing. And I think that we're about to see a lot more innies in the near future. So.
Dang, I had a thought and lost it. Guys, I'm getting old. All right, just act like it did happen. But it was a good one. It might have like solved the whole show. Honestly.
Yeah.
And then it's so sad. Oh, I was gonna say. I know what I was gonna say. That I've talked in the past about people comparing the whole any outie severance procedure to slavery. And personally, I'm a black woman. Surprise. But I really don't like. I'm in America. Also, if you can't tell by my accent.
Oh my god.
That's how people say Americans sound. Very country.
You just said sound. So.
That's how we sound. That's how I talk. All right, let me stop. But so I have a lot of sensitivity around slavery. I hate the idea of comparing anything to slavery that is not slavery, because I can't imagine a sentence that makes sense where it's like, that's like slavery. How so? Like, what's like slavery? Slavery. And none of the people that we are alive can actually imagine. We can only imagine how horrific it was. But, like, none of us are built that way. And a lot of people say, oh, I wouldn't take it. Yes, you would. You know what? Because you didn't have a choice. But a life of only existing to go to the dentist, not comparing that to slavery, but it's a tortured existence. And it kind of makes me feel a little harsh about those comparisons. That's where I was going. I just feel so bad for her. I felt bad every second of this episode. I watched it first. She was tired. She went to bed. I stayed up and watched it. And then the next day I was like, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. I got tissues right here just in case. I gave her tissues. Because it was so sad. The whole episode, even the parts that were like pretty and beautiful. It just was all this underlying sense of sadness. Dolly says, facts. I have to agree with you on that. People have to watch it sleep. Facts. Exactly. Like, it's just too much. Even, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right. Deuce Falco. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still learning how to do the chat on iPad. But you brought up the writing the gift cards. Yeah, that was a big ass stack of cards, and I think we mentioned it further. But since we're here,
the Grouter, the D Grouter.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna do that. Okay. But the she was writing with her left hand. We wondered why her handwriting was so messy. Was it just because she had written so many? But I think it was also because she's not left-handed. She's right-handed. When she's at the doctor's office, she's writing with her right hand. But for whatever reason, they have her using her left hand. And it didn't even occur to me that innies and outies can have different, use different hands. But I think it's just another way of creating a separate person.
And that room in general, the Christmas room was definitely, all of them are creepy in different ways, but Allentown was super creepy in the moment where, as Gemma was about to leave the room, oh, thank you.
Thank you, that's so sweet. She gets it from me.
Okay, I think it's the other way around, but whatever. When Gemma is about to leave Allentown, he stops her and says, I love you. And she kind of just looks at him. He says, I said I love you. And that just kind of highlighted for me that he's a creep and he's doing some weird stuff.
That's another, and I know we have it in here. We talked about it. Another thing where it's like, when did they start watching Gemma? And I think they always been watching Gemma. I can't pinpoint the exact moment because at first I thought it was, okay, it started here, it started here, it started there. But that same exchange happened with Mark.
Yep, the I Love You happened, the book happened, they had the D Grouter in Allentown, and when she slid down the shower after she miscarried, there was grout in the shower, so they know she needed one of those. Yeah. Like, they have been watching her since before, the first time she met Mark, they met over the books, and that book is the book that the dentist was reading. Yeah, that book was the book that the dentist was reading before Gemma smacked him on the head with the chair. They've been watching her for a hot minute.
Yeah, I hate to keep going out of order, but it's conversational. Later, when Ragabi is when Devin wants to call Miss Cobell, and Ragabi is like, nah, they raised her. She a soldier through and through. Did they raise Gemma? I find it very interesting that throughout this whole process, we haven't heard anything about Gemma's family.
Not a single thing. We know nothing of Gemma's family.
No mom, no dad, no cousin, no brother, no sister. Maybe Lumen raised her too. Maybe she was an orphan. Maybe she was born into Lumen. I don't know, but I think there's something there. All over the place where we are. Is this where we are? Allentown? Or did we already do that? I'm sorry. This is what happens when we just keep talking. Well, you know what I should do? I should press play on the video to keep us on track because that was the whole point. Ugh. We're at the part where she's in a dentist and open her mouth and then she flashes out of it and she's coming out of the room with her mouth hurting. And that's when she asked the nurse how long she was in there. She says 2 hours. But how do we even know that was 2 hours? Like, we know time is different.
Because of the quarters versus months.
Because of the quarters with Irvin's bereavement ceremony. So we don't know. Minutes could be days, hours. It's no way of knowing. All right. Next scene, we are back to Devin begging Mark to wake up on the couch. I feel bad for ever suspecting her of something nefarious. I did wonder, like, if she, especially because she married to Rickon. I don't know. Something felt off.
How did Rickon ever land her?
Money. I'm telling you, he got that old money. That makes him much more attractive. Not that we go after people for money, but it sure does help your sense of security in life. Yeah. Then we see Mark coming out of the elevator. Oh, what is that? Oh, that just highlights it. Cool. Thank you for commenting because it helps us know how to work this. Can I do like this?
No.
Oh, nope. That's the same thing you were trying to do.
Maybe, but Mark.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Maybe, but Mark said to Devin, did you tell her parents she died? Could have been
Lumen employees. Yeah, I don't even remember that. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I don't want the show to be over yet. How do we get this to go away?
Okay. There we go.
Okay. I don't want the show to be over. I'm enjoying every week. I love it so much, but I am excited for once the season finale to go back and start over. To see it through new eyes. It's one of my favorite things to do with this kind of show, a mystery box kind of show, to see what we were looking at that we didn't even realize. So now that you told me that, I will definitely be looking for that even more.
So next we see Mark. He's in the elevator, and it's the first time in this entire episode that we've seen Mark alone, and it's only for like 5 seconds. And when he goes in, it's super endearing. He gets Gemma an ant farm, because he thinks that she loves ants, but she actually loves plants.
Who loves
and
ants?
Your note is interesting.
Oh, what is my note?
Ant farm could be distracted by her beauty, or has he always been a bad listener? And that makes me think back to when he was in the talking about the bargaining stage of grief, and he was talking about how he would talk less, listen more.
So, yeah, I didn't even. Good job. We work together. Yeah, and I don't know that it's necessarily like, oh, you're a bad listener, but
Gemma's pretty.
Exactly. Exactly. So he may have just been like enamored with her and thought he heard it or whatever. So.
And it's sweet that he went out and really bought this girl some ants.
And I wonder if the farm thing, she says I love farms. I don't know if I'm just focusing on everything. Maybe it's because I love farms too. Any farmers out there? I'm sorry, that was weird.
It was. I'm just ignoring it.
I'm sorry, but farms are very sexy. They are, because they have the land. Okay, I'm sorry.
Have a great evening. No.
If I keep on, she won't come back no more. So I'm gonna stop.
This is true.
All right. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, let me press play. Yeah, this is just more of them bantering their chemistry.
They're so cute. I am team Gemma and Mark. Mark and Helly, they're a no. They're a no. Helly is a no, honestly, because how can you get past the baggage of Helena being her outie? That's just messy. That's a mess. That's General Hospital type mess. We're not bringing that over here. No.
Yeah, but we're pretty sure there's some babies involved. At least one baby. So.
Or like 5,000 according to the intro.
Goodness gracious, that's a lot of childbirth there. I thought the scene where Gemma saw the crib was really sweet.
It was like I bought it it was on sale.
Yeah, because that's why you buy a crib.
Right. You just buy it because it was on sale. Okay, Mark.
I do wonder if they ever talked about it leading up to that. Like if they had ever like planned to have kids, or if that was the first. It didn't seem like that was the first time ever, because she came on, sat in his lap after that. So it was so sweet. But every scene with them where it's so sweet is also so sad, because
you know she's not.
Yeah. Jinx.
You owe me a soda.
Alright, I got one over there. Is this where the montage? Oh, I love a montage. Montages in TV shows and movies is like one of my favorite things. I love a good montage with the right scenes and the right music. Like whether it's something tragically romantic like this, or it's like the superhero movie where they first get their powers and then they have to like do their training and they fall and mess up and they get back up and then they learn everything in like 4 to 7 minutes. But this one just kind of had me like, oh, well, no.
Everything from
I was like this.
Everything from the shots to the editing to the music, everything about it was so intriguing to me. And there are so many parts where, like, I need somebody to go through that montage and stop at each frame, because there's a picture of a goat. Mm-hmm. There's pictures of Gemma where she looks like she's in like some type of dark landscape. I just can't really figure out what I'm looking at. Like all of those pictures weren't just happy moments with her and Mark. There are some like dark parts within there that are so fast and flash by so quickly.
We could probably do that at some point. Just watch it in like half speed,
like crazy.
Well, just watch it like in slow motion.
Yeah. Okay.
At some point, but we're not gonna upload that and dissect it. We're gonna let the rest of somebody do that. Dolly says a true GH fan is gonna love a montage. 90s GH, yes, yes, we are true. I am a true GH fan, and she is.
Getting there,
but I don't know. We watched Beyond the Gates this week, and so
somebody save my girl Danny. Somebody save her.
I don't know. They're in the same time slot where I live at, so it's like I'm imagining what happens if it's one day where I have to choose between General Hospital and Beyond the Gates.
You choosing Beyond the Gates if I'm home?
I mean, but it's off to a good start. But yeah, love GH, love the montages. All right. The next scene is something about.
Oh yes, they are climbing the. Can I say something real quick?
No.
Okay, well, no, but they are all at kind of like breakfast or lunch or whatever, and they're talking to each other. And Devin is telling the story of them going to some mountain and like trailing it. And there's a part of that scene, Devin is going to refill Gemma's drink, and Gemma tells her not to. And it's like a whole conversation within 1 minute with just their eyes. And it's like, the everybody, I remember I was talking, we were talking the other day, and I was saying how like everybody deserves an Emmy on the show, and you were like, we should just like give the Emmys to them, like like everyone, because everyone is so amazing at acting, and it's so wild going back and watching interviews with all the actors and seeing just how different they are. Yes, I forgot
the first screening at, I don't know what SCAD. Oh, it's going away so fast. Oh, thank you.
And it was torture. I wish you could have seen it with me. I knew you would vibe something.
I'm sorry, Dolly. I don't know what SCAD is. I'm usually kind of good at anagrams, but South Central Apple Delight. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what that means. And I think it's because we're on an iPad and not like a regular computer, but the chat, it pops up and then disappears, and then when we click on it, we can only see like part of it. I'm gonna figure it out. I might have to just bring over like a Chromebook or something and do it a little differently, but Savannah College of Art. Whoa, we're in the Matrix.
Hi, I'm Savannah.
My daughter's name is Savannah. And she gets stuff in the mail. She's 17, about to go to college. Not going to that college, but with all due respect to that college. But we get stuff from that college all the time, and we always joke that like that's her school, especially because she's also an artist. She's a visual artist. One day I'll show you guys her work. She's so talented. So like, universes are connecting here. I don't know, multiverse. I don't know what's happening, but
that is wild.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I feel like I need some chocolate. Okay.
Okay. Oh, but you were gonna say this.
Oh, no offense to Rickon, but I can't see him scaling a wall. No offense. I'm not saying, wider people. I'm wide sometimes myself, but I just can't see him doing it. Remember a while back I told you the opportunity to see an early screening. Oh, no. Oh, wait. I think I do. And it was from Beyond the Gates. Is that where you saw the screening of that? Wait, I don't know. I'm sorry. Now I know what it's like when you don't understand what somebody's saying. You have to explain. I'm so sorry. Please elaborate, and then I'll catch up with you. My cousin is named Savannah, and I'm a big art nerd myself. Oh my God! See, that's just another reason I love you, Dolly. Like he's a lot of fun in the chat. When he's a member of Albert's too, so when it's members only, we go back and forth a lot. Have lots of jokes.
Yes.
Oh, in this same conversation. Just a lot of words they use, kind of like like Mark said, frozen bodies. I thought it may be Cold Harbor foreshadowing.
That made me think. The frozen bodies made me think of when they were in the outdoor retreat and they saw the seal or whatever it was, and we thought, oh, it should be frozen, and I think either it was or it wasn't, but it should have been. That's what it made me think of.
Yeah, that's what I was thought, that maybe the seal was there and seal was supposed to be in cold weather, but it wasn't actually as cold there because it wasn't really icy outside like it was supposed to be.
It was a simulation.
Yeah, I think the plane scene in that room let us know today there's a lot of simulation shit going on. Everything that we think is not. Oh, this is the same what you talked about, the scene with her not drinking. It was very beautiful and subtle, a conversation that they had, but then I think we go from here to.
Yep, and Kelly encouraged me to go to the early screening. I was so nervous, but I took her advice on it. I even sat next to actors who played Andre and Vanessa. Oh, I'm jealous.
Wait, fine ass on? Oh no, we talking about the Gates. I thought we was on General Hospital. I was like, fine ass Andre Maddox.
That is so cool.
You should have invited me to your +1. Yeah, I'm glad you went. That must have been cool. Yeah, we think Dre is a player, right? He's the one that making eyes at the nurse.
Making eyes at the nurse, but you were just in bed with Danny. And
Danny deserved that. This is weird, but I'm proud of Danny. Good job, girl. But I would have went. He would have been my date to the wedding, for real. I would have took my little young thing in there.
She can't have a date when she's about to kill the bride.
Right, he would have been.
She got a goal in mind.
I forgot. Danny had plans. That was crazy. I love the actress. I love seeing her kind of showing off her full potential. That Bold and the Beautiful didn't use her well enough. Let's see where we at. Oh, let me press play. Yeah, because after this, I think, yeah, we show her eyes. We're close up to Gemma's eyes. Let me stop. He is a player, but he was also nice in real life. And the Vanessa actress was so cool. I can't remember who's Vanessa.
Vanessa. I think she's one of the sisters.
One of the sisters. I thought Andre. Yeah, right. Also, y'all want to talk about General Hospital? I see. All right. So we're gonna have. I'm gonna get back to Severance, but I will keep talking about General Hospital. But okay. I'm taking that encouragement, and that means I'm gonna have to do one that's just about General Hospital
and Beyond the Gates.
And Beyond the Gates, because that's what they're talking about.
It's okay. We gonna keep.
It happens with age. And I'm doing a lot. I'm sorry.
Oh yes, 29.
All right, so yeah, sadness. They go into her Gemma, and she's in the bathroom, and it's kind of becomes very quickly apparent what's happening. She's having a miscarriage. I don't think this is her first miscarriage. I think I'm a woman. Surprise! I've been the blonde chick. She's kind of like okay. The one who's wearing that pink. We know exactly who she is now. One. Yeah, she was role playing. Then she got a husband. I was like, oh, that's Doug. I'm confused. All right, back to Severance. We see Gemma, and the way that she responded to the miscarriage. And first of all, I hate the term miscarriage. Anybody out there, don't call it that. Don't say losing a baby. We need to find another way, because both of those terms imply that a woman does something wrong, and that's not the. I'm sure sometimes it's the case, but often, and in my experience, that we can't assume that that's the case. And when your body goes through something like that, you already feel bad and guilty enough. So let's change that terminology. But we see that the baby is no longer living, and there's the blood running down her thigh, and she gets in the shower. But she cries, but she doesn't yell, she doesn't scream, she doesn't say call 911.
She looks tired.
She looks like, here the fuck we go again. And then Mark comes in, and it's kind of the same way. He sees her, puts two and two together, and just kind of holds her. And that scene where she kind of slides down the shower wall, and we see I don't know if it's a mold or just grout at the bottom of the shower. I think
called it unplanned termination instead of miscarriage.
Okay, maybe we can do unplanned termination. I like that better. Yeah, I like that better. But we see Gemma sliding down that wall, and you notice, like, I don't know if it's mold or it's probably grout because of the degrouter later. And I remember thinking, damn, they need to clean that shower. But as we should know, Severance doesn't do anything by accident. They did that so that we would make that connection later in the Allentown room when they give her the degrouter. I think it's all these things. I think you said this earlier, that they're planted in there. They're just trying to make sure she's not connecting. That the Gemma who saw that grout / mold doesn't remember, maybe. It's so sad. Let's give her the Emmy. Let's go ahead and put her name on it. And then, so we go from the shower scene where Mark is comforting her to him, we're assuming him having the memory, not the Fabuloso, I know that's right, of him comforting her, to him seeing Gemma being Miss Casey and saying the day she was there to observe Haley R. Oh, I think I made a note about this, like the best day, worst day.
It's right here.
Yeah. That was probably one of the worst days of Gemma's life, and then we go to the best day of Miss Casey's life. I think that's very intentional. Very good directing, the storytelling. So clever. But quite a shift, Very sad. Okay, so after this.
It's a bit more. This is the server perk.
Yeah, we see wires coming down. If there's computer talk and server talk, she don't have to do it, because I just know, like, ooh, technology stuff. I pretty much just had my mouth open, like, that's pretty much the experience with Severance. Like, wait, what is happening?
I like that you put here more twins. I kind of forgot all about that. In the outdoor retreat, we see, as all of MDR is, like, working their way through the, I guess, woods, we spot their twins, and they all move very robotically, I think, and they all point them toward different directions. And now in this scene, we see all the twins looking at MDR through the computer and they're typing away. And I remember when we were watching, you asked me, "Do you think they're human?" I'd forgotten all about the outdoor retreat twins, and they were all very robotic. And they're not necessarily, these people aren't necessarily moving that much either. So I'm wondering, they could be robots as well.
Yeah, they could be. I did look on IMDb, and there are different actors. Because at first I thought it was the same people. Not so much for the one with Mark, but the like Dylan especially. I was like, that's got to be the same dude.
I bet, you know what I bet? I bet the dude who played Dylan's twin is the dude, the door interview guy. That would be
gotta
fun.
look it up and see. Now we see why dude was so mad that Lumen make their own doors.
They
got
so
all the doors.
Many doors.
How many doors they could be building? But yeah, I wonder about these people that are like monitoring them through the through the monitor. I thought it was the same actors playing twins. Check IMDb, it's different, and that doesn't mean it's necessarily different people. But I don't know with this show. But that isn't initially what I thought too. But I wonder, like, so the Mark and Hallie and Irvin and Dylan, they spend very little time at their desk refining. Like, they be wandering the halls, you know, doing stuff in tents, plastic tents and purple rooms, having family visits. But yeah, very good casting. So I wonder, what do these people sitting at the computer do
when MDR is up and gone?
Mm-hmm.
Are they watching them do other cameras? Because Lumen is full of cameras. Yeah. And you remember when Mr. Milkshake had them like watch that video, basically saying Lumen is listening to you. They were like, "Oh, well, you're not going to be like under surveillance anymore." We all know that's a lie. We all know that's a lie. So I imagine either they're watching them through other cameras or, well, I don't know.
yeah, they are watching and listening to everything.
It's almost like bored energy.
But it makes me wonder how much of stuff that the four got away with did they let them get away with? Because if they've been watching and listening to everything, they should have been many steps ahead of them.
That's funny.
Where's the couple of what was it?
He said, "Where is the coworker who micromanages them when they try to get away from work?"
Yeah, like it's more to it, and I have no doubt that the show is going to give it to us. I just want it now. Like, I want to know now, please. We got 3 more episodes, y'all. Have y'all thought about that yet? 3 more episodes, and then we gotta wait. Hopefully, only like a year. Hopefully, not 3 years this time.
And this is so hilarious.
Thank you, Anzo. Please press like.
Because my friend, very close friend, I have finally, after months, convinced her to watch Severance, and it took her days to like finish the first episode. And like that was a few days ago. This morning I get a text from her saying, "Savannah, I'm on season 2. Thank you so much for telling me about this show. Gemma is alive. I can't believe Helly tried to hang herself, all this, all that." And she's sitting here complaining about how many episodes are left. It's like, you just got to binge watch all of that. Right. I have to wait a week for each episode.
No, because I watched the first season in real time, like when it debuted week to week. And then once we were watching some other stuff together, and I was like, "Oh, you like mysteries, huh? I got something for you." And so then showed her Severance, and this was after it had aired. So she got to binge. She didn't have to wait a week of knowing whether or not Helly had killed herself or not. I did, so
that's true.
Please, but I also don't know if I would want to binge it. I binge also. Ooh, I've heard a lot of good things about Succession. It's on Apple TV too. So that's on my list of things I want to watch too. Apple TV has some really good things.
Silo.
I can't wait for Silo to get back. Shrinking, y'all. I don't even know. Like I feel like we gotta have a whole separate conversation about that. We'll just say we did watch the first season of Shrinking, and we liked it up until a certain extent. And now I'm not so sure. I'm gonna give the second season a chance.
Really, you are?
At some point, like when I don't have nothing else to watch. Because I don't know. But it started off good. I like Harrison Ford. He plays the only character, the one you really like. Okay, yeah. Indiana Jones. All right, let me press play.
Okay.
And then we see, while they're still like the people, the twins are monitoring, we see them flash through all the files, and we recognize these names from different points throughout the show, but they line up with the rooms. that Gemma is forced to go into.
Billions.
I think I heard of that too, but I don't remember anything about it. Is it about money? I would, I would like some money. I don't know why I said that. That was not funny. I wish I could edit. I would take that out, y'all. Just don't hold it against me. Oh God. All right. So the next scene we see Nurse Nancy leading Gemma down the hallway. This grossed me out. Sorry if y'all heard that buzzer. That's the dryer because it's a real house. We do laundry around here. But we see the nurse leading Gemma down the hallway again, and she's wearing this like 80s gymnastic outfit. And then we had seen the doctor wearing like a tracksuit, and this is gross. And I warned her about this before because of the content matter. I feel like this whole show has trigger warning, but this was specifically gross. It reminded me of the what? Oh, hey, busybody! Thank you. She does General Hospital soap opera reviews too.
Hello.
Her format is she reads comments, like people comment, and she
cool.
addresses everyone's comment in like a separate video. It's really cool.
That's so cool.
It's very engaging.
Awesome.
Not a lot of people engage with their audience so much. So really
awesome.
Cool. Gymnastics, yeah. I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago there was a whole scandal about I hate to even say this man's name and make him more infamous. But Larry Nasser, I think was his name. He was the doctor. Oh, he was the doctor. He was the doctor for the United States, the gymnast, and he molested and assaulted so many girls.
Over 400.
Over 400. And so when I saw Gemma's outfit and his outfit, I just wondered about that room, and I wanted to like look up the name and kind of see if I could connect the dots, but I was like, because there's so much in this show that I didn't really want to get too deep into that. But I think he's hurting her in like the worst way, and we even know later on when he's like, maybe you felt things in those rooms that you never felt with Mark. Like, ooh, I see why she hit his ass over that chair, and she broke his hand before. He deserved it. Like next time we need to stab him, Gemma.
She's working her way out.
Oh, to stabbing him. I was like, working my way up for what? I was so confused. All right, then the next scene we see Gemma and Mark in the...
Oh, wait, this is funny.
What?
You say Mark has a type.
Oh, yeah. I said the doctor is creepy. And then because Mr. Drummond, when the doctor was talking to Mr. Drummond, and like he's like...
stupid Christmas sweater.
Yeah, he was like, you like her. You basically like her. She's easy to like or whatever. And Mr. Drummond said, well, didn't she try to break your fingers? And that's when I knew Mark had a type. He likes badasses.
Yes. Because Kelly gave them HE double hockey stuff.
Yeah, she gave him hell. You can say it. I think it's okay. I'll give you permission. See how good she is, y'all? How well mannered. And she's 17 and she don't want to say a bad word in front of her mama.
I try my best, y'all.
But his type. So we see them in the fertility clinic. And if you watch that, if you really pay attention, you'll recognize the doctor. And this was, before everything was weird enough.
He's watching her, y'all.
He's been watching her. And when I first saw him, I was like, oh, this is where it started. But then with some of the things they do later on, I'm like, it always started. Like, we don't know. And once Ragabi says about Miss Cobell that they raised her, that's what made me think, oh, she might have been born into this. She might not have ever had a chance. And in the same scene, they show a little girl. Gemma's looking at a little girl on the corner, right? And then, like a few seconds later,
they do a wider shot, and the little girl isn't there anymore.
She isn't there. Maybe her parents came and got her. Maybe they moved.
No, Severance doesn't do that.
Maybe she was singed. I don't know. But I also know later on when Mark is giving her the hormone shot, he says something to the effect of, there's a little girl out there waiting for us. All we have to do is grab her. Now, if that little girl would have been Asian, then I would have been like, that's definitely their baby. But I'm already making those assumptions kind of with Miss Wong, so I don't want to run into the territory of being like stereotypical or... Yeah, it's not racist, but y'all know what I mean. The same way, like on a soap opera, other than Beyond the Gates, on General Hospital, if they have two black people, we know they cousins. Because That's what they do. I thought it was something symbolic that went over my head. What's symbolic? There's a lot to go over people's head. Goes over my head. Are you crying?
No, I just need to blow my nose.
Okay. Oh, she abandoned me, y'all. All right. Let's see where we're at. All right. So, and then there's another scene where the doctor is talking to Gemma, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch it up to my video here. Okay. He's talking to her, and they show her the perspective through the camera, like the same way through the monitors where they show like Mark and Dylan and them in the computers. So I'm like, but where is that camera? Because it's like, okay, like if I'm talking to you and you're Gemma and I'm the creepy doctor, I'll be the creepy doctor.
Okay.
Then how does the person downstairs have this perspective? I was like, maybe it's on, he has buttons on his doctor's collar. I'm like, maybe it's a button camera here. I don't know. So maybe that's what they do when they can't watch them at the desk. Maybe they have a bunch of other cameras. They watch them all the time. I don't know. So many questions and so many little things. Yeah, this shot right here. Oh, because y'all can see this. I'm pointing at it right now. But you can. And that's when she talks about her mouth hurting. And he asks her, did one room hurt more than the other? Just trying to make sure that everything is separate. Oh, is it, should I do, I'm right, I was right, should I brag about being right? Because I told you guys it was more than one innie. And I feel like I have bragging rights for that, but also understanding that if anybody, if we watched the opening title of the show, then it was pretty clear that it was multiple innies because there's so many marks. But I still pat myself on the back or shoulder. Thank you, that's the back. But yeah, she's clear that the Wellington room is what made her mouth hurt. This one, when he asked her what happened in the room, she remembered nothing. I don't know if I can figure that's true, but this actress is so good with her face that I don't know if she's holding something back. I don't like the questions about like, did you enjoy one room more than the other? Did one make you feel? He didn't say like pleasure. He said other old-fashioned words, but it felt very disgusting. And then this is when I forgot all about the list over here. I'm just talking.
You're going in order though.
Okay. Am I talking too much to you?
No.
Okay. I want you to talk to.
Yes. Yes, you are. It's my turn now. Hey guys.
I wish I could hum on beat. I would do the Severance intro beat. I can do it in my mind, but it won't sound the same. Okay. So we see Gemma realized that there was a room that had a name on it that it didn't before. It was Cold Harbor.
And that's the elusive project Mark has been working on.
Yeah, that's scary. 96%.
He's stuck on 96, yep.
But she said, you know, what happens once I've gone in all the rooms? And I can't remember exactly what he said, not to skip past it, but some of that old-fashioned language.
He says something like, your presence will benefit Mark from the world you sire, or something like that. Yeah. And just like our reactions and y'all's reactions too, she says, can you please talk like a normal person? And then he has the nerve to say dream sweet after. Which is not the normal way of saying it. I think that was just facetious.
I do. My favorite part about that was when she said, so I'll see Mark. And there was like this little flash of hope. Because up until this point, I wasn't sure if Gemma left Mark.
Yeah, because the flashbacks are... He was a jerk to her in the end. And like just as much as it's a loss to her, it's a loss to him too. But his body didn't go through what she went through. And again, it seems like this has happened multiple times. So... the trauma that must put on her, especially, and it's clear she blames herself. It's a bad situation, and it's really difficult for her, I feel like, for a relationship to withstand something like that.
That's very insightful and mature, and it's true. You can look at any studies and any statistics, you know, talk to anybody who's been through it. It's very hard for a couple, whether married or not, a couple to survive that type of loss and grief, because you have all this anger and blame, and if you don't lean on each other, you might put it on each other. I wish that they had maybe they did and we just didn't see it, but like maybe had some type of counseling together to kind of remember that this is something they're both going through. But I think it's very easy to like turn on each other, and very, very sad. So I was happy to see that she wanted to get home to Mark. She wanted to go home. She wanted Mark. Even if she signed herself away, didn't read the terms and condition, she wanted her husband. And that made me happy to know that, like, Mark wasn't. I thought at one point Mark might have been an alcoholic before, that Mark may have been drunk driving the car and it was all his fault. But I'm just skipping ahead. But I was glad to know that that wasn't true. And it's so creepy. What do we have here?
That's when she realizes.
Oh, another loss. Yeah, it seemed like he was an alcoholic, but it looks like maybe that was just the grief of losing all the children. How many ever times?
Yeah, that's a pretty common view I've seen. Like I said, when my friend was sending me constant text about Severance, she told me, quote, quote, Mark needs to put down the beer. So I think everyone thought he was an alcoholic for sure, because that's the way they kind of portrayed it.
Yeah, and he doesn't though. He doesn't. He stops drinking when reintegration starts.
Yeah.
So I think when he was talking about the bargaining before,
That was in the beginning.
That he would the bargain. You think of all the things you would do different. You would drink less. He meant that. He meant that because he was following the reintegration. He was drinking his sea moss in the morning, and the beers that were in the fridge was still in the fridge.
Yeah.
So he was trying.
And here we go. When we cut back to
Who is this person? Marquise. That's a strong name.
It's an interesting person.
No,
I don't
that's my
recognize
son
that.
commenting, y'all. Thank you. He's like 10 feet away from us right now. But that's really cool that you're watching.
That's
Thank
cute.
you. Especially because I know you don't care about Severance.
No.
So that's really sweet. Thank you.
It's the birthing retreat. So we cut back to Ragabi and Devin talking, and she Devin brings up the birthing retreat, and how people actually, you talk more about this. I don't really remember much about the
what am I
birthing
talking?
retreat.
It was the congressman's wife. Devin had went to the birthing retreat. I remember wondering how they could afford that. Well, now Rick got money, but she was like a birthing retreat, a place to go to have your babies at in peace, I guess. But there was a congresswoman there, and Devin had knocked on her door. First of all, when she gets up to the door, there's a man in white walking away. We only see his back. I'm thinking that was the doctor. I can't wait to rewatch, y'all. But then she goes in, she knocks on the door. The lady first of all, the lady looks like, who the hell? And at the time, it's thinking she's just like, who the hell banging on my door? But in hindsight, she's an innie. She's like, oh shit, a person. She might not have ever seen another person besides the doctor before. But she lets Devin in. Devin's like, yo, I need some coffee. And so she gets her some coffee and they talk a little bit. And she just asks her simple questions like, what's the baby's name going to be? How many times have you done this? And it doesn't seem like a weird conversation until Devin sees her later on in future episodes playing with the baby and understands the baby has a different name and it's like no flash of recognition. And then Devin she gets on the internet researching a little bit and she kind of puts the pieces together later that there's any birthing cabin. And that's what happens in this scene. Devin and Ragabi go back and forth at it. Devin's being a good big sister, but also I don't know that she's listening as much, but Ragabi ain't really answering questions as much. Like you said, she's kind of talking around stuff. And she asked her, was she a doctor? Ragabi didn't answer.
No, she did not.
She don't be answering. So I don't know if that means anything, but also I don't know if she is a doctor. She says she put that chip in Mark's brain, but I don't know what exactly the rest of her role is. We still don't know where her motivation is. I think it's clear that someone she loves is there. Or something else. I don't know. But she intrigues me in every scene she's in. Even if she's eating ice cream out of the container staring at Mark. Like, it's just, she is a very intriguing actress. But everybody is on this show. They're so good. Give the casting agent an Emmy too. Everybody. Just Emmy party. I feel so bad for Devin. And then Ragabi,
after Devin says she's gonna call Cobell, Ragabi is out.
I think she did call Cobell because there's one point when she puts the phone up to her ear.
Yeah, she has it to her ear. She definitely called her and then hung up.
Yeah, I think Miss Cobell is gonna show up and be like, "Yo, you call," and And I don't know whether that's going to be at a good time or a bad time. But doing this show, probably not a good time.
And there's so many theories to the point where I think it must be true that the next episode is going to be pretty much around Harmony herself. And I saw one theory where someone said that they think that the next episode is going to start with Harmony getting the call.
That makes sense.
So that is going to be super duper interesting, especially what is that conversation going to be like with Mark? What is that?
Where has she been?
Is Mark going to like lunge at her? Like,
is Mark going to be Mark?
Is Mark going to be Mark?
And what if he wake up and his reintegration is different? What if he any Mark? I don't know. What if it's
any Mark is going to be so scared.
Poor
thing.
any Mark.
Poor thing.
But I'm interested to see what that looks like. And I don't know if I put this in my notes, but since we're here talking about reintegration, this is something I've been wondering. Is reintegration the goal for everyone? Like, Petey wanted to be reintegrated. We saw how that worked out for him. Mark is doing reintegration. Mark didn't want to be reintegrated. He wants to know about Gemma. Is reintegration, like, always a goal? Suspecting all the trauma of what Gemma and all of her multiple innings is going through, I don't think reintegration is a good idea.
Imagine all the teeth stuff, whatever the doctor is doing to her, all the Christmas cards being forced to pretend like that's her husband, all those innies. Imagine those merged together with Gemma, who's already had miscarriages as well. All of that in one person.
Yeah, I'd be like, sever me back. Like,
I think that she would kill herself.
That's wild because of when Miss Casey is there to watch her to forego some further future attempts at suicide. I would say no, it's impossible, but anything is possible with this show.
I mean, Irving is gone. Like, but is he gone? But
not permanently. We got to get him back. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop right here. We're only about halfway through, but we are an hour on the video. I need to stop for like 2 minutes, and I'm gonna start over. Unless you want to talk about yourself.
Oh God.
I didn't think you wanted to, but you can.
Oh God.
No pressure. All right, we'll stop. I'm gonna stop this right here, and then in like 2 or 3 minutes, we'll come back and start over. I have to go tinkle. I'm sorry. I was trying to hold it, but I can't. All right, how do I stop? I'm sorry. I'm being honest with y'all. All right.